You can make thousands of dollars with a good side hustle, and there are all kinds of things you can do to make extra money, like dog sitting. I'm doing that right now. Say hi to Maggie.
Literally the cutest dog I've ever seen.
But how do you know which side hustles are actually worth the time and effort? Well, today I'm going to rank 20 side hustles from best to worst so you'll know the best ways to bring in some extra money without wasting your precious time. And spoiler, there's a bonus side hustle that can be very lucrative. But hey, before we jump in, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons and share this video with your friends, just like Maggie here just shared this little gift with me. Okay, go away. Okay, I'm going to channel my inner Gen Z gamer nerd today and rank these side hustles using a tier list. And here's how the rankings work. S is the best, aka the GOAT. Then A is second best, all the way down to F as the worst. And I'll be factoring in things like startup costs, how much money you can make, how much time it takes, yada yada. But before we get started, I gotta mention my free side hustle quiz that I just launched that helps people like you find side hustles based on their skills, their goals, and how much time they have. You can find it at georgekamel.com/side hustle, and I will also link it below. All right, let's get to our tier list. First side hustle on the list, mowing and landscaping. This includes cutting grass, leaf blowing, trimming the bushes, hauling off yard waste, yada yada. Potential earnings, $20 to $50 per hour, or higher if you price it by the job instead of hourly. The pros are predictable recurring income if you get some clients, you get to work outdoors, that's nice, little vitamin D, flexible schedule, and you get to channel your inner Forrest Gump. Now there are some cons. This can be seasonal work, it can be brutal depending on the weather, there's startup costs for equipment, you gotta have some serious know-how, and there's liability insurance required. But overall, I'm gonna rank this as an S tier because of the fact that you can go do this tomorrow in your own neighborhood. Let's drag that up to the S tier. We already got an S to kick things off. Love it. Next up, beauty services. This could include cutting or styling hair, doing makeup, or manicures and pedicures. Potential earnings, $50 to $60 per hour. The pros, having fun, being creative, you're utilizing your existing skills, and there's potential for high earnings. Now the cons, it does require some specific skills. There are some startup costs and equipment, and you'll likely need a license to practice and maybe even some schooling. To be fair, you may have to touch people's bunions sometimes. Which could be a pro, Rick. Rick loves a bunion.
That was supposed to be a secret.
Now, while this can be a great profession, it may not be the best side hustle for you if you're trying to make some quick money. It can take time to build up some clientele and get some of these gigs. And for that, I'm gonna rate this a D tier. Next up, we've got dog walking. This is when you show up to someone's house or apartment, maybe you pick up their pet, walk them around a little bit, pick up some poop if you got to, bring them back, bada bing, bada boom, you got paid. Potential earnings, $15 to $30 per hour. And the pros, you get paid while you exercise, you get to work with animals, and there's a flexible schedule. Some cons, you may need liability insurance in case of accidents, the schedule is weather dependent, and you might be picking up some turds. But Rick, that's a... I'm sorry.
Get it together, man.
But if you love animals, this can be a great side hustle, and it's something that really any able-bodied adult can do. And for that, I'm gonna give it an S tier rating because it's one that I personally pay for in my own neighborhood. I think it's a great one. Let's move that to the S tier, baby. You already got 2 in the S tier. We're winning. All right, next up, pet sitting. If you work from home, this could be an easy way to make some extra money. Potential earnings, $25 to $50 per day. And again, this is one that the Kamel family pays for twice a week. And we love our dog sitter / daycare lady. She's wonderful and it is well worth the money, and she makes great money doing it. So the pros, there's relatively little work involved. You get to hang out with some little fur balls, and you're likely to have repeat customers. Cons, you might need some supplies, you might need some liability insurance, and of course, you have to have a pretty flexible work from home job. And to be fair, there is some risk here. You could get licked to death.
I'm perfectly okay with that.
I'm gonna give this one a B tier rating because there are some prerequisite requirements that not everyone has at their disposal. To B tier you go, little, is that a corgi? I love a corgi. They got me with the corgis. Next up, we have freelancing. This is a great option for writers, designers, developers, social media specialists, content creators, tech folks, anyone with enough spare time to take on some extra projects. Potential earnings can vary widely based on skill and demand, so it's a hard one to nail down. But the pros are lots of flexibility, you can use the skills you already have, and there's potential for some seriously high earnings. The cons, the income can be inconsistent, there's some administrative work required, and it could require a lot of time. And this is something that I've personally personally done, and I am no prodigy by any means, but when I was doing some freelance marketing, I was making about $2,000 a month. And for that, I'm going to give this one an A tier. It's something that does require some skill, so it's not quite S tier. Not everyone can go do this, but whatever you're doing professionally, see if you can do that on the side to make some extra money. Next, we have home organizing. This is where customers pay you to declutter and organize their junk in their room. Potential earnings, $25 to $60 per hour. The pros, there's minimal startup costs, and you have an opportunity to help people not be hoarders. That's a wonderful thing. The cons, there's some physical labor here. You got to be pretty good at marketing yourself, and it could require a lot of time. And because this one's a hard one to get clients for, I'm going to go ahead and give it a C tier rating. Next up, we have photography, and I'll go ahead and lump in videography. This is a great one if you already love these things and you have a good camera. Think about family portraits, birthday parties, maternity shoots, weddings, all sorts of things. The potential earnings, $50 to $150 per hour. And the pros, it's creative work, you get to interact with people, and there's potential for high earnings. The cons, there's a cost of equipment, things like camera, lighting, lenses, photo editing software, and there's a whole lot of competition. And while you can rent this equipment to make it a little more affordable, I'm going to give this one a B tier rating because it does require a pretty specific set of skills. But if you've got these skills, highly recommend doing this one. Next up, we have driving or delivering. And this is delivering food, groceries, people, packages through apps like DoorDash, Instacart, Uber, and Amazon Flex. Potential earnings, $15 to $30 per hour. So the pros here is flexibility. You can use your existing vehicle. You don't have to have any hard skills, just a driver's license, and you'll likely get tips. The cons, there is wear and tear on your vehicle. There's potential for long hours. You might need additional insurance, and you may have to drive bachelorette parties to cookout at 12 a.m. So for those reasons, I'm going to give this one an A tier rating, because I love that you can just go sign up today, open the app, log on, and get to work. Next up on the side hustle list, renting out your space. Now, if you're a homeowner, you may be able to list your spare bedroom on Facebook Marketplace or Airbnb, or even rent out storage space in your attic or garage on sites like Neighbor.com. The potential earnings here, of course, vary widely based on location and the space you have, but this could easily make you $500 to $1,000 or more per month. Now, the pros, of course, you're utilizing space that's currently probably going unused, and there's potential for truly passive income. You're not going out and actively doing work here. And, of course, there's maybe some flexibility. Now, the cons here is that there could be local regulations that prevent you from doing this. You may require a license, there could be potential for property damage, risk of occasional weirdos, and in general, there's someone in your personal space, and you might not want to do that if you have kids or if your spouse hates this idea. And because this one requires extra room, maybe an extra bathroom, and a personal factor, I'm going to give this one a big old B tier. But think about it, could be an option for you. Next up, virtual assisting. This could be doing tasks like email, calendar management, data entry, meeting notes, and research. And if you have experience in something like project management, event planning, or even bookkeeping, you can specialize in that specific area. And the potential earnings here could be $20 to $40 per hour or more. The pros are, this is remote work if it's virtual, so this is super flexible, you get to utilize your organizational skills, and there is potential for high earnings. This could be a whole career. Now the cons, it could take up a lot of time, it may require specific hours based on the business, and it may be hard to find these roles without working with an agency, but could be a great option for those that already work from home. So I'm going to give this one a C tier rating because there could be difficulty in getting the gig, but once you have it, it could be S tier. I'm just saying. Next on the list, we have house cleaning. Now, if you like cleaning and have a decent amount of time to devote to a side hustle, this is a great option. Could even offer add-on services like deep cleans or washing window exteriors. The potential earnings here are $20 to $40 per hour or around $100 to $200 per cleaning. Now, the pros are, this could be recurring income if you get regular clients, there's minimal startup costs, you might get to make your own schedule, and you can clean while listening to the song So Fresh and So Clean, which has been a lifelong dream of mine for some reason. Now here's some cons. This could be time intensive, you might need a license or a permit, as well as liability insurance. And the big one, it's pretty intense physical labor. I mean, those toilets aren't going to scrub themselves. But what I love about this one is you could get recurring clients in your own neighborhood and not have to travel far. And I gotta say personally, house cleaners have changed the game for our family ever since we had a kid, and for that I am very thankful for these people and I am happy to pay them. I'm gonna rate this one as an A tier because I truly think it's something you can make a post about in your neighborhood Facebook group and get to cleaning this week and make some really good money. Next on the list, we have social media influencing. Now, this one is just way easier said than done. Potential earnings can vary widely based on the following, the engagement, the clients you work with. But the pros are, it's creative work. This is flexible. It's social media. You can do it from anywhere. But the cons are, it's time consuming. It's difficult because you gotta have content planning and creation skills. And there's a high possibility nobody cares and you make $0 doing this.
You're not a total failure. Don't listen to everyone.
And because this requires you to be a content creator and be on camera, it takes a lot of time and dedication and the right person. And for those reasons alone, I'm gonna rate this one as an F tier. Don't come at me, influencers. I'm scared of you. I'm just saying, not everyone can do what you do. Okay, that's actually a compliment that I rated at F tier. This is untouchable. And by the way, while you're working a side hustle to make more money, don't forget about saving money too. And one way you might be able to save some dough is by switching to Tello, the sponsor of today's episode. Tello is a mobile service provider designed to be super affordable and super flexible. And they use T-Mobile's tower, so you know you're gonna get great coverage. But what I love is they make it easy on you. I signed up in less than 60 seconds. They've got flexible plans, no contracts, no strings attached, and no fees. And don't worry, you can keep your same phone and phone number. The best part, Tello pricing starts as low as $5 and goes up to $25 a month for the unlimited everything plan.
That's a steal.
And here's the cool part. You stay in the driver's seat of your phone plan. You can downgrade, upgrade whenever your little heart desires. And they gave me a special link that saves you even more. Go to tello.com/George to get $5 off their unlimited data plan for your first month of service. I'll also drop a link in the description for today's episode. That's tello.com/George. Back to the side hustles. Next up, personal training. This could also be things like being an instructor for a yoga class or Pilates class or a spin class. And if you already work out a lot, why not get paid for it? Some people can even teach virtual classes. The potential earnings here, $20 to $60 per hour. The pros are simple. It combines your passion for fitness with earning money, and there could be a flexible schedule. The cons, there could be certification requirements, a lot of competition, and potential for pulling a hammy.
I don't want to pull a hammy.
I'm not risking it. And to be fair, you probably need to work with a local gym or facility to instruct classes. And for that, I'm gonna give this one a D tier. It's not for everyone. And to be fair, I've been skipping leg day for a long time, and it's the reason I can still fit into skinny jeans. So there's a silver lining. Next on the list, we've got tutoring. Now this could be for specific subjects, standardized testing, or even specific tests. And it could be in person or virtual. Potential earnings, $20 to $50 per hour. And here's some pros. You get to utilize your specific knowledge, there's potential for online tutoring, and it's flexible. But it also has its cons. You may need a location for in-person tutoring, there could be potentially inconsistent demand, and it can be pretty hard to get clients. And for that, I'm gonna give this one a D tier. But hey, if you've got the skills and the knowledge, you do you. Moving on, we have consulting. Now, if you've got a lot of experience in a very specific area like marketing, sales, IT, finance, raising ferrets for fun and profit, etc., you may be able to get paid to share your niche knowledge. Potential earnings can vary widely based on expertise and demand, but here's some cool pros. You get to utilize your professional experience, and there's potential for some seriously high earnings. Now, the cons are, it may be difficult to find clients, there's a lot of competition, and you need to be really good at marketing in order to get these gigs. So for that, I'm gonna give this one a rating of C tier, because most people that say they're consultants are just unemployed on Instagram. Let's be real.
I'm unemployed and I live with my parents.
Next on our list, we've got teaching music or voice lessons. And this one could be a great option if you play an instrument or sing even decently. And potential earnings are $30 to $60 per hour. And here's some pros. You get to share your skills, there's a flexible schedule, and it is a beautiful thing watching someone pick up a skill like guitar or piano or vocals and use it to make art in the world. But here's some cons. There's administrative work, there's a need for some heavy marketing, and potential for inconsistent demand. And because of the high skill required to do this, I'm going to give this one a C tier. Don't come at me, music teachers. I love you. I love you. It's just a difficult side hustle to just pick up tomorrow unless you've already got the skills. Next, we've got teaching another language. Even if you only speak one language, there are plenty of people who want to learn that language. And you can do this through a local school or using sites like Schooly, Preply, or VIP Kid. Potential earnings here could be $14 to $25 per hour. The pros are, it could be a pretty flexible schedule, and it could be in person or online. But here's some cons. Some platforms may have requirements like having a bachelor's degree. There's a lot of competition out there, and you could have some weird hours, like waking up at 4 a.m. to teach kids in another country. And because of all of those reasons, I'm going to give this one a D tier. It could be a good one for some of you in the temporary, but I just don't think it's worth the money with that much competition. Next, we have reselling. Now, if you're at the thrift shop more often than Macklemore or Ryan Lewis, don't forget about him. This could be the side hustle for you. You basically find something cheap, got a good deal on it, fix it up, photograph it, and resell it at a higher price on a site like Facebook Marketplace, eBay, or Etsy. The potential earnings here can vary widely based on the items sold, but the pros are you got potential for high profits and it's pretty flexible. The cons are you gotta have a place to store all this stuff, there could be potential for slow sales, and it can take a lot of time and effort to hunt for things that are actually worth flipping. And for that, I'm gonna give this one a B tier. I do love that you can just go out to your local Goodwill or Facebook Marketplace and find some things to flip quickly, but I do think this is not for everyone. Speaking of things that aren't for everyone, next on our list, running an Etsy shop. Now, this could be good if you're into making things like crafts, jewelry, or clothes. The potential earnings can vary widely based on the type of product and the demand, but the pros are this is creative work, this could be a passion project for you, you have access to a large customer base on Etsy, and there's minimal startup costs. Cons, shipping could be a hassle depending on what you're making, there's a ton of competition on the platform, and there could be a cost to advertise on Etsy to increase visibility. And of course, Etsy's gonna take their cut. And for those reasons, I'm going to give this one an F tier rating. Don't at me, okay? Someone had to end up in the F tier. And truthfully, if you're looking for a quick side hustle and quick money, Etsy ain't it. These are businesses, these are people's livelihoods, and they've poured their lives into it to make this successful, and that's what it's gonna take for you. And lastly, we have selling your art. Upload your artwork to a print-on-demand site like Redbubble or Zazzle, and those are real things. Those are real websites, I promise. And people can order things like tote bags, shirts, coasters with your design on them. Potential earnings, again, vary widely based on the artwork and the market demand, but there's a lot of pros here. You don't have to store and ship physical products, people just download them, and there's potential for some truly passive income. While you sleep, you could get 19 orders in, and it's all automated. That's a wonderful thing. The cons here are a need for marketing, a ton of competition, and not much control over the customer experience. And for those reasons, I'm gonna also rank this one as an F tier. All right, I think we have a pretty well-balanced list here. There's a few that I think anyone can go do tomorrow, and there's a few that could be great side hustles if you put the time and effort into it. So if I were choosing one of these today, I would probably choose dog sitting or dog walking, because it doesn't take much skill, the pay is worth it, and I like dogs. You can also make some really good money babysitting, but to me, that one seems a lot harder, especially for the dudes out there. And I don't really want to suffer through Cocomelon songs or watch Blippi learn what a helicopter is.
Let's go!
I will go insane. And there's another side hustle that I would consider doing that can be very lucrative, and it wasn't even on the list, and that is car detailing. Consider that your bonus S-tier side hustle. Not a lot of skill required, not a lot of startup cost, just buying some cleaning stuff and finding some dirty cars. And the best part is you don't even need a physical location. You can just show up in someone's driveway or their office parking lot and get to work making that mid-size family sedan smell like artificial strawberries. And trust me, people will pay a pretty penny for you to excavate the remnants of a Nachos Bel Grande from their seat cracks. So if you ask me, car detailing is one of the best side hustles you could do starting tomorrow. And if you want even more ideas for creating a new income stream, don't forget to check out my free side hustle quiz. I will link it below, or you can go to georgekamel.com/side hustle. And listen, if you're in the middle of the side hustle grind, it can be tough. I've been there. And even though it can be hard work, finding these extra streams of income is what allowed me to get out of debt, get a down payment, pay off the house early, and get ahead with money altogether. So if you want to learn more about the side hustles I've done over the years and how much I made from each one, be sure to check out this video coming up next. I'll also drop a link in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.